but I wanted to drop an idea on you. I don't know how many people are watching Pluribus, but I hear it discussed frequently. Without giving away too much about what actually goes on in the show, I have the unsettling feeling that intentionally or not, it is actually mirroring a horror that we are already living. And that in fact, as much as there is something alien in origin involved in Pluribus, that the unsettling fact of what's going on with humanity is not very different from everybody in the room being coordinated through some device that is connected to an outside network.
The alien could easily be read as metaphor in the show.
Yeah.
The alien life force. Yeah.
And so I'm struggling a little bit with it. I'm enjoying the show, but I'm struggling a little bit with whether or not, let's say that, if it's inadvertent, it just happens to be resonant because we're all living something for which the metaphor works.
I don't think it's inadvertent. I hope not.
Well, it could be inadvertent because this kind of feeling is everywhere. It could be intentional and artistic, or it could be manipulative and something else, right? In other words, one of the central tensions in the thing is that the horrifying state of humanity is not obviously horrifying. It's disturbing to us normies, but, it solves virtually every problem there is. And so anyway, I am concerned about...
I'm sorry. How are you using normies in that creation?
We resonate with the main character, who is having a properly freaked out reaction.
But being one of 12 among 8 billion, it's not the normie condition.
No, I don't mean normie in the show. I mean a normal reaction to, a wholesale change to humanity.
Yeah,
is alarm.
Yeah, but that's not normie.
We all resonate with the main character because she's alarmed. Not all of the characters who are in her shoes are alarmed. And, I think the best part of the show is that, it's one thing to draw a cartoon sci-fi horror story in which the enemy is, the Borg.
Right.
You don't want to be part of the Borg, right? That's frightening, even if the Borg thinks it's great. But the point is, it's black and white. The idea of, we solve all our problems and we're not unhappy. That is, it's different, and it's rich in a way that I haven't seen anything else. But I do not like the idea of having our guards lowered over being unified through some force, especially as AI becomes this increasingly subtle intermediary. I think I mentioned to you, when I did my debate on AI, wherever the hell that was.
Somewhere in the Southwest, Arizona.
Yeah. I was trying to make the point. I was in a room full of college students who had come to hear this talk, and there was part of me that was actually kind of pulled out of the debate because I wanted to talk to them.
Sure.
Because there's still hope for them, and I want them to understand what they're facing. And
a room full of college students is just great.
It is great.
So great.
It is great. And it turned out to work well for the debate too. But my point to them was, look, you're headed towards a world in which every relationship you have is going to be intermediated by AI. Yes. And if you're smart, what you will do is you will take your most important relationships and you will forcibly exempt them. You will make them not intermediated. So that was my position. Months later, I encounter a totally predictable but nonetheless completely jarring thread in which a description is made of how people who are forming relationships for the first time are both consulting the AI about how to interact with this partner that they want to be with, and they're getting advice. And the shocking thing was, apparently, according to the person reporting this, the advice is excellent. And so the point is, oh crap, now you're building a relationship in which, it's not to deviate too far, but I do think it's interesting. We had a couple of conversations with religious folks this year. And in a couple of them, the idea of, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. I've always wondered what the Holy Spirit is. Father, Son, that's clear. What is the Holy Spirit? And the cool answer that, I don't know if it's how well accepted it is, but the cool answer that I got back this year was actually the Holy Spirit is the bond between the Father and the Son. Yeah. Which scientifically we would call it the intersubjective space between them. But the idea that that is an entity unto itself.
That in every dyad, there are three entities.
Right.
There's you, me, and us.
Right, exactly. And that is a proper way to think about it. It actually is a useful, productive way to think about it. But the idea that the us relationship is going to increasingly have AI infused in it, an AI that...
And there's my AI, and there's your AI.
You can just... Here's... What happens if you do form a relationship in this context? What happens when the AI changes or it disappears or you try to break free of it because you feel like, oh no, the relationship is not headed where I wanted because we're both consulting, hey honey, let's put those things down. Do you even have the skills to navigate your own relationship if it's forged in the context of an AI advisor? Which goes back to, we've talked about Cyrano de Bergerac. But this is horrifying. And we are running this experiment, it's just like, oh, that's a cool new technology. Gee, I wonder if it knows anything about romance. Really? You're going to ask a creature that couldn't possibly?
I don't want to call it creature yet. I understand why you do.
Well, I'm trying to remind myself
that it has the real danger will occur when the more creature-like it becomes.
Yes,
as it becomes more creature-like. Yeah.
And I think we, back in the very beginning of our awareness of these LLMs, I put together some rules, and one of them was you have to treat this as a new species, and it's not one. You can know a lot about even a tiger, right? A tiger fears the way you do. Mother tiger loves her cubs in some way like you love your kids. You can know a lot about a tiger. You don't know anything about this new species.
Yeah.
So hard to know how to exert the proper caution, but that is what we ought to be doing.
Yes, indeed.